At the finger flexors that are extrinsics. Remember, we're not interested in intrinsics. We're going to leave that to the professionals. So finger flexors that are extrinsic, flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor digitorum profundus. We know that superficialis comes out and ends on the medial and lateral sides of the middle phalanx of the digits 2 through 5. And we know that profundus comes out and attaches on the distal phalanx, palmar surface, digits 2 through 5. So that gives us a way of distinguishing one from the other, at least to some degree. Profundus is deep to superficialis, so when we put our fingers where we know they're going to be, our fingers will always be on the superficialis muscle, tendon, belly. Okay? So we find it by going back, finding flexor carpi ulnaris, finding palmaris longus if it's there. If it's not, then just find flexor carpi radialis. Put your fingers in that margin, and that's where you will find the junction of the muscle belly and tendon for flexor digitorum superficialis. Then it's just a matter of wiggling your fingers. When you do that, you feel it right underneath. You actually see it in her forearm as well. Remember we said that we're less interested in finding muscle bellies up here because they're all compartmentalized and wrapped in saran wrap. Really hard to feel. So that's not, I'm really feeling both of them, aren't I? Okay? So if I want to distinguish between superficialis and profundus, I'm going to choose a finger, and I'm going to block just proximal to the DIP. Okay? And I'm just going to have her wiggle that last digit, that last segment of the phalanx. And what I feel is something more subtle, way less activity than what I felt when she was wiggling all of her fingers. That's profundus. As long as I've got her blocked. If I let her do this, then I get superficialis as well. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, profundus only.
But if you ever just do it like this way, then it would just be...
Well, no, because it also, profundus also crosses over those joints, so it's active across those joints.
So no matter what, you're going to get both.
Yeah. But this way, what we try to do is minimize superficialis and just get profundus, because superficialis ends here. The only thing that goes that far is profundus. So we comfort ourselves by thinking that we've eliminated one. We really haven't truly, but we really emphasize in that distal phalanx just profundus. That's the best it gets. Okay? We good with that? Okay. Then we go to the extensor side for fingers. We've got extensor digitorum, extensor indicis, and extensor digiti minimi. So when we find extensor digitorum, it has slips into the extensor hood or extensor mechanism of digits 2 through 5. There's a lot of tendinous interconnections along the way. So our best bet is to just find it over the dorsum of the hand, through the long bones where the metacarpals are. We're going to have her do just a little slight extension at the wrist with finger extension. Okay? I don't know how to do that. All of those right there, we can strum across. Okay? So you always should be able to feel them. Like anywhere else where we've been in the body, we love it when we can see it, but we don't always. So that's why we are developing our feeling palpation skills. So it's just a matter of identifying those. As we get out to the little finger, we see that there's something coming from off the side here, right? And typically what we do is, I'll have a person do this, so that they're actually flexing at the PIP and extending at the MCP, and a lot of times that'll bring it up for me, okay? So what I have here is the fifth slip from extensor digitorum. Over more towards the little finger side of the hand is extensor digiti minimi right there.
And so it's the one that's, out of the two of them, it's the one that's closer.
The one that,
Lateral.
medial and lateral doesn't mean much when we're doing this because it gets easy to confuse. So what I usually say is
it's the more ulnar.
The more ulnar or more little finger side for both indicis and digiti minimi in relationship to the digitorum.
And I can't see the difference between mine, but I can feel the difference.
You can feel it though.
It's on this side?
Yeah.
It's on this side.
Look at you, Angie, you're covered.
I know, but that's the only way I can
You have to keep your hand in your pocket when you play the game.
Yeah, I will.
So that's extensor digitorum and extensor digiti minimi. Now we just find extensor indicis, which again, if we find the first of the slip to the second digit and come to the ulnar or little finger side of that, we should find extensor indicis. So do the same thing. And there it is right there. I can't see it until I get over the MCP joint on her. But there is extensor digitorum right there. I come over to the little finger side or ulnar side from there, and I see extensor indicis right there. Okay?
Just pushing the blood out of the way.
Yeah, I'm just blanching the tendons.